So this is on trail day 145. It is Wednesday, December 2nd, 2020. I'm back here at the road crossing Woods Hole. Take a left there, that's down in the bottom. So I'm back at the trail, came out there yesterday, and this is headed south. And there's no footprints in the snow, so nobody else has been through this area today. It's a little warmer today than it was yesterday. It's supposed to be in the 40s. I had my hoodie on until I got up here to the road, and I changed it out for my rain jacket. But just coming up the road to the trail, it's getting a little warm. But it is got some wind, so the raincoat blocks the wind, so should be all I need. I don't know how far I'm going. The next hostel is 15 miles or so. I said in AWOL they were open through November. This is December. January. Oh, I'm getting ahead of myself. So I don't know if they're still open. And then there's a Trent's Grocery that has a room available, but I don't know. I'm getting a little bit later start than I intended. I got up around 7:30, but the hostel provides breakfast, and by the time I had breakfast, chatted with the caretaker, and then their tablet for their Square payment system was dead. And anyway, it's like 11:30 and I'm just getting on the trail. It looks to be fairly flat, so we'll just end up where we end up. I'm leaning toward camping tonight. I've kind of had enough of hostels. Not that they're bad. I really enjoyed being in one last night. The wind outside was just kicking it. But I think I'm going to camp tonight. I'm pretty sure the trail goes this way. It looks like it comes this way. I didn't see a turn, so it kind of looks like steps, so we'll go this way and see. If not, well, yeah, it goes that way. The rocks are stepped. But we'll see where we end up for the day. So the terrain today has been pretty good. Had a little hill climb from that road there at the hostel. And then went through the woods a little ways and then met up with this old road. This road bed, it goes up where there's a radio tower. The snow's starting to melt, but there's several sets of footprints and dog prints. There was some bear hunters out this morning in their trucks and their dog cages. If I had to guess, those footprints were bear hunters. Probably will not see any bear since they are actively being hunted. Typically in areas that have a hunting season on bears, there's not much of a bear problem. But I got a campsite just north of Dismal Falls. I think I'm going to go to. It's another 9.5 miles. It's almost 1:30. So that'll make a 13-something mile day. making good time. But there's a Trent's Grocery 2 miles south of that camp spot. They also let hikers camp there. They have a bunk room. I don't know if the bunk room is open due to COVID. I had thought about staying there or the hostel Weary Feet last night, because it is supposed to be in the 20s. Tomorrow, then the 50s. So that's why I was just like, it'll warm up pretty quick tomorrow. I'll just camp tonight. I can deal with the 20s. It's like 700 foot of elevation in the next 9 miles, so fairly flat. Yeah, it's nice the snow's melting slow. It's letting it kind of seep into the ground instead of flooding all over the place and making everything a mucky mess. Looks like we've got a limited view spot over here. Yeah, pretty limited. Well, maybe we'll have another one. There's no views listed on the thing for today, gut hooks. But sometimes they'll be there and they're not listed, so. This is the Wapiti shelter. A nice picnic table, and privies right over there. This shelter's got some history behind it. Some of you may know, some of you may not, but either way, it is still here and still serving its intended purpose. So I'm gonna take a break here and have lunch and continue on about 5 more miles to camp. I'm a little bit south of the Wapiti shelter. This nice little pond here. Campsite there. Probably be nice on a hot summer day, but ooh, a nice camp spot over there. Yeah, this is like 5 minutes. Trail goes over here, if that, from the shelter. So if you're ever hiking on the AT and you don't want to stay at the Wapiti, there's options before it if you're going north, or shortly afterwards if you're going south. I got 5.8 more miles. I was going to stay at a campsite just north of Dismal Falls. But we'll see how it goes. If it is getting a little colder. As long as I can get there before dark, I'll be good. I don't want to go. If I'm close and it's getting dark, I'll keep going. But I'm in the national forest, so I can pretty much camp wherever. But I'm going to try to camp before dark. Get my tent stakes in the ground before it freezes. Most of the snow melted today, so if I get to where I was going, or where I was planning to go, it gives me 2 miles in the morning. I can go to Trent's Grocery, I think is the name, and get something for breakfast. And refill my, I left Angel's Rest the day before yesterday with 2 quarts of Gatorade. I drank one yesterday, and then Woods Hole, I think it was, hospital stay last night. They had various teas and stuff like that, so I drank about half of the other quart today. So I'll go to the, I think it's basically just a gas station right off on the trail. I'll get some more Gatorades. I didn't carry a whole lot of food from, I probably still carried more than I need because that's just how I roll. But I didn't carry a whole lot from town at Angel's Rest to the new, that's going to be staying at a hostel that next night. I was going to provide dinner and breakfast, and then I was going to have this grocery store option. But the trail today has been very nice. The trail mostly in Virginia has been very nice. I don't know if you was watching a few videos back, the undershoe strap on my gaiters chewed through and broke. I've been wearing them just fine without it, so the bungee cord that goes around, it still has 2 hooks that goes on the laces, and the bungee cord that goes around the shoe, and that's been sufficient enough to hold it in place. So and they've been working as far as keeping crap out of my shoes pretty good. Haven't had anything in them, so. And even though these shoes have a lot of mesh, these Solomons that I got, yesterday hiking in the snow, my socks were not much more damp than they are typically, just from sweaty feet. But they were damp enough and the shoes wet enough. While I sleep with it, I put the socks between my bag and my hammock. Nobody's been through here today. So they're typically dry out for the morning, but my shoes were damp enough last night. I got to the hostel, they would have been froze this morning. The day's coming, I'll be putting my feet into frozen shoes. I won't be able to avoid it forever. I just checked the campsite just north of Dismal Falls, 3.7 miles. It's 4 o'clock. But there's another one, 2.2 miles. I'd be cutting it about 1.5 miles short. But it would put me getting there by dark. Well, it's not going to get dark at 5. Sunset will be a little after, and then stay daylight a little bit. But that puts me getting there while it's still daylight. Hear the trees squeaking. They're complaining about being cold too. I could be wrong, but that kind of looks like a bear track. I noticed tracks, and I was like, maybe somebody's been here, but nope. I do believe that's a bear. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 toes. I don't know. I got a little thing in my pack that tells me what kind of tracks there are, but I'm not going to stop and dig it out right now. He didn't go across this one. Wasn't a very big one if it was, but as long as he's got a warm home, I'm gonna try to come get in my tarp later. We'll be alright. I have yet to have anything mess with my bear canister this entire trip. It's always been exactly where I left it. And that's a good thing. I hope it never gets tested out. Had Doc's Knob shelter on there, which is the one just north of Woods Hole Hostel. But I didn't see the Wapiti shelter. But part of the sign was missing. So. It's been an abundance of water sources today. Both the campsites I'm looking at is close to water, so I won't get but what I need for the night. And then I'll filter what I need in the morning. I typically filter 3 liters at night, but getting down to 25, it'll all freeze, so I don't want to mess with that. So here's the Blue Blazes. Gut Hook says it's an unofficial campsite. So with Blue Blazes, I would say that's kind of official. Got 1.6 miles to get to the one just north of Dismal Falls that I had originally planned to go to. But there is 0 wind. At the moment, which is a good sign. There are no down trees, which is a good sign. And the sun is just now setting, so yeah, it looks like a nice spot. And throw my hammock up over there and call it a day. Not bad. And that gives us like 3 miles, a little over 3 miles to get to the convenience store in the morning. Maybe it'll be close enough between breakfast and lunch or something. Said something about burgers and stuff, so who knows? We'll see. And then I'll have to plan out where I'm going tomorrow. So yeah, this looks like a good spot as any.